Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Raleigh where they recently announced the number of flu deaths that occurred over the holidays, and unfortunately the number jumped. The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services says 22 people died last week and 21 people during the Christmas week. So far this season, there have been 71 deaths across the state because of the flu. Now, of those, 53 people were 65 and older, 10 between 50 and 64, 6 between 25 and 49, 2 between the ages of 5 and 17 years old. Now, last season, 544 people died from the flu, the highest number since 2009. Of course, we also want to turn our attention to the ongoing discussion about Greenland and its status. NBC's Peter Alexander has more from Washington.
This morning, President Trump accelerating his push to take over Greenland. The White House revealing the president and his team are discussing a range of options for acquiring the Arctic territory from Denmark, adding that utilizing the U.S. military is always an option. President Trump recently insisted the U.S. needs Greenland for security reasons and that Denmark is not able to protect it, which Denmark disputes.
Right now, Greenland is covered with Russian and Chinese ships all over the place.
While those nations have a presence in the Arctic, Greenland is in fact not surrounded by their ships. According to the New York Times, citing U.S. officials, Secretary of State Marco Rubio told lawmakers President Trump plans to buy Greenland rather than invade it. The Times reports the president asked aides to give him an updated plan for acquiring the territory. The U.S. military has a base on the island. Vice President Vance visited it last year. On Tuesday, Denmark and 6 other NATO allies delivering a strongly worded response to the president's comments, writing Greenland belongs to its people. But top White House aide Stephen Miller asserts,
obviously, Greenland should be part of the United States.
Democrats sharply critical, but saying after the Venezuela operation, the president's words have to be taken seriously.
I certainly was amongst those who, 12 months ago or 6 months ago, dismissed his talk of taking over Greenland as an intentional distraction. I think now you have to really think about what's in the president's brain.
And multiple Republicans say they're opposed to taking control of Greenland by force, including House Speaker Mike Johnson.
Look, no, I don't think that's appropriate.
And it comes as the president is trying to unite his party, rallying House Republicans yesterday and hitting home the consequences of the upcoming midterm elections as he sees it.
You got to win the midterms, because if we don't win the midterms, it's just going to be, they'll find a reason to impeach me. I'll get impeached.
And again, that was Peter Alexander reporting. We now turn to your weather forecast, and right now looking at beautiful sunny skies across the east. And while air temperatures are expected to come down a little bit from today into tomorrow, we're still going to be in A, above average, and B, we're going to still be in a fairly comfortable position. Here's a look at what we've got outside right now across Greenville. 72 degrees, northwesterly breeze coming in at about 8 miles an hour. And dew points right now sitting in the mid to low 40s. Dew points not a big concern right now, but moving forward over the next few days, those dew points are going to have an impact on potentially how much rain we see over the coming weekend. Right now, air temperatures sitting in generally the low 70s. We've got 70 degrees in Lahosky and Roanoke Rapids, 71 in Elizabeth City as well as Jacksonville, 72 in Rocky Mount, Williamston, Greenville, Kinston, New Bern, Kenansville, and Swan Quarter in Edenton. Along the immediate coastline, though, we're still looking at the 60s. Now, compared to where we were yesterday, most areas, except for those of you along the immediate coast, have seen an increase in air temperatures. Tomorrow, that changes. We're going to see a little bit of a cool down from today into tomorrow that should range around 4, 5, 6 degrees. Not a big cool down, but certainly we aren't going to be keeping the 70s that we are enjoying today. Right now, winds out of the west blowing in at about 7 to 15 miles an hour. Those winds are going to be swinging around tonight to the northeast by the time we wake up tomorrow morning. That will again bring about some cooler air temperatures in the afternoon. The air coming off the water this time of year is cooler than most of the air coming down out of the Gulf. And that's why we will see a little bit of a hit in terms of air temperatures. But here's kind of a big picture look of exactly what we've got going on across the country. It's the area of low pressure south of Los Angeles that will be giving us our next opportunity for rain showers. Of course, this is a system that has soaked the West Coast and right now is currently putting down quite a bit of rain across southern Arizona and even into New Mexico. That's going to continue here as we head through the next really 12 hours. And then as we wake up tomorrow morning, the center of that system should be pretty much right over central Kansas with a trajectory that's going to take that low over the Great Lakes. Now, as the low moves up to the northeast, the cold front is going to extend further down to the south. So the whole system is going to just get larger and larger, and that will impact just how many people feel rain showers, but it will also impact how much rain actually comes down. When you stretch it out, you're not going to get as much rainfall than if you were to have a little bit of a tighter packed system, a stronger system. So this is one that we're anticipating rain, yes. We're not anticipating much. Looking at maybe about a half an inch of rain, most likely less than that over the entirety of the weekend. I think the bigger story over the weekend is going to be the temperature change, going from the mid 70s on Saturday, low 60s on Sunday, and by the time we get into Monday, particularly Monday morning, starting out at 28 degrees, 46 for your high to kick off next week. It is going to be quite the turnaround from the kind of faux spring-like conditions today and snapping all the way back into a very much a January pattern by the time we reach next week. So moral of the story is take advantage of this heat while we have it. It's not going to be sticking around forever. We are looking again at colder temperatures by the time we reach Sunday night into Monday morning. Well, that's all we have time for today's 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back coming up at 2:30 with an update on the PFAS situation that has again plagued eastern North Carolina. We do have some good news in that regard. We'll bring you that in the next episode of Charlie Loves Science. That is coming up at 2:30. Until then, I hope you all have a fantastic Wednesday.